Hey, what is up, my beautiful internet peoples? It's your girl R back at it again, and today we're diving headfirst into the wild world of altcoins. We're talking about all those cryptocurrencies that aren't Bitcoin. Yeah, there's a whole universe beyond the big B. So, you've probably heard of Bitcoin, the OG, the granddaddy of crypto? But what about all its little and sometimes not so little siblings? Those are your altcoins. We're going to break down what they are, why they exist, and whether you should be paying attention to them. Spoiler, maybe a bit of both. We're going to keep it super simple, super fun, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll be like, altcoins? Oh yeah, I know her. Our mission today is to demystify this whole altcoin shebang. We'll cover the basics, the not so basics, and everything in between. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty, but like the fun nitty-gritty. So grab your metaphorical pickaxe, because we're about to mine some knowledge. This is going to be an adventure, so buckle up, buttercups. Let's do this thing. All right, team, let's get down to brass tacks. So, Bitcoin. We all know Bitcoin, right? It's like the Beyoncé of cryptocurrency, the first, the most famous. It strutted onto the scene back in 2009 and changed the game forever. It was this revolutionary idea of digital money, no banks, no government, just pure peer-to-peer magic. But then, other characters started to appear. People started thinking, Bitcoin is cool and all, but what if? And that what if is basically how altcoins were born. The term altcoin is literally just a smoosh up of alternative and coin. So any cryptocurrency that isn't Bitcoin is, you guessed it, an altcoin. Think of it like this. Bitcoin is the original recipe, the classic chocolate chip cookie. But then other bakers came along and said, hey, what if we add white chocolate, or macadamia nuts, or make it gluten-free, or vegan? Those are your altcoins. Some are trying to be a better, faster, or cheaper version of Bitcoin, while others are trying to do completely different things. So when you hear names like Ethereum, Dogecoin, Solana, Cardano, Litecoin, Polkadot, the list goes on and on. The core idea behind many altcoins was to take the groundbreaking technology of Bitcoin, the blockchain, and either improve upon its perceived limitations or use it in entirely new ways. Bitcoin, for all its strengths, has some aspects that developers thought could be tweaked or enhanced. For example, transaction speed was a big one. Bitcoin transactions can sometimes be a bit slow, like waiting for that one friend who's always late. So some altcoins were designed to be super speedy. Okay, so we know altcoins are basically everything that's not Bitcoin in the crypto zoo. But the big juicy question is, why do they even exist? Did we really need thousands of different digital coins? Couldn't we all just get along with Bitcoin and call it a day? Well, not really. Think about it. Bitcoin is often described as digital gold. Its primary strength is its potential as a store of value. But being digital gold also means it has certain characteristics. Gold is valuable, sure, but you don't usually use a gold bar to buy your morning coffee, right? It's not super practical for everyday, small, quick transactions. And that's one of the limitations of Bitcoin that spurred the creation of altcoins. Bitcoin's transaction processing time, while secure, can be relatively slow compared to what we're used to with, say, credit cards. The network can only handle a certain number of transactions per second. When things get busy, it can lead to longer wait times and higher fees. This is where altcoins saw an opportunity to shine, to offer something different. They came in saying, hey, we love what Bitcoin started, but we think we can do certain things better or do totally new things. Take Ethereum, for example, which I mentioned earlier. Its founder, Vitalik Buterin, saw that blockchain technology could be used for much more than just digital cash. He envisioned a global, decentralized computer that could run applications, and thus Ethereum was born, with its revolutionary smart contract capability. Smart contracts are a game changer for real. All right, so we've established that the altcoin universe is vast. But here's the kicker. Not all altcoins are cut from the same digital cloth. They come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, and flavors, each with its own special purpose or vibe. It's like walking into a giant candy store. You've got your chocolates, your sours, your gummies, your hard candies. They're all candy, but they're all super different. So let's try to categorize some of these crypto critters, shall we? First up, we have stablecoins. Their main goal in life is to, well, be stable. Unlike Bitcoin or many other altcoins whose prices can go up and down, stablecoins are designed to maintain a steady value. They achieve this by pegging their price to a real-world asset, most commonly a fiat currency like the US dollar. You've probably heard of some of the big players in the stablecoin game like Tether, USDT, or USD Coin, USDC. These are super popular because they provide a safe haven for traders. If the market is going crazy, traders can convert their volatile cryptos into stablecoins to protect their value without having to cash out into traditional money completely. They're also used for payments and in DeFi applications because their stable value makes them predictable. Think of them as digital dollars that live on the blockchain. Next on our list are utility tokens. These are like arcade tokens, but for the digital world. A utility token gives you access to a specific product or service within a particular blockchain project or ecosystem. So, you're not necessarily buying it as an investment hoping its price will skyrocket, but more because you want to something. Alright, buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to talk about the part of altcoins that can be both exhilarating and absolutely terrifying. The risks and rewards. Investing in altcoins, or any cryptocurrency for that matter, is not like putting your money in a sleepy savings account. Oh no, honey, it's more like strapping yourself into a rocket-powered roller coaster. There can be incredible highs, but also some stomach-churning drops. So let's get real about it. On the reward side of the coin, altcoins can offer the potential for some seriously explosive growth. We're talking about gains that can make traditional stock market returns look like pocket change. You hear these stories, right? Someone bought a small amount of some obscure altcoin early on, and then bam! It shoots up 100 times, 500 times, even 1,000 times or more. Coins like Solana or Cardano had periods where their prices went absolutely parabolic, creating a lot of crypto millionaires. This potential for massive returns is what draws a lot of people into the altcoin space. The idea that you could invest a relatively small amount of money and see it multiply exponentially is incredibly alluring. It's like finding a lottery ticket that actually has a decent chance of winning. But, and this is a ginormous but, with great potential reward comes great potential risk. Altcoins are, by their very nature, highly speculative and incredibly volatile. That same coin that shot up 100 times can just as easily crash back down 90% or more. The crypto market is famous for its wild price swings, and altcoins, especially the smaller, newer ones, are often at the extreme end of that volatility spectrum. It's not for the faint of heart. One of the biggest risks is simply that many altcoin projects will fail. Okay, so you've learned about what altcoins are, why they exist, the different types, and the wild ride of risks and rewards. Now you might be thinking, all right, I'm intrigued. How do I actually, get some of these altcoins if I decide I want to dip my toes in? Well, hold your digital horses because that's exactly what we're going to cover now. It's time to talk about the practical stuff, buying and just as importantly, storing your precious altcoins. First things first, to buy altcoins, you'll generally need to use a cryptocurrency exchange. Think of these exchanges as online marketplaces where you can buy, sell, and trade various cryptocurrencies. There are tons of them out there, but some of the most popular and user-friendly ones for beginners include Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, and Gemini. These platforms allow you to connect your bank account or use a debit/credit card to buy cryptocurrencies with your regular, everyday money. Getting started on an exchange usually involves creating an account, which is pretty similar to signing up for any other online service. You'll likely need to provide some personal information and go through a verification process, often called KYC, Know Your Customer. This is standard procedure for financial platforms to comply with regulations and prevent naughty stuff like money laundering. Once your account is set up and funded, you can browse the list of available altcoins and place an order to buy the ones you're interested in. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, once you've bought your altcoins on an exchange, you have a decision to make about where to store them. You can leave them on the exchange, and for small amounts, or if you're actively trading, that might be convenient. However, it's generally considered riskier for long-term storage or large amounts. Why? Because when your coins are on an exchange, you don't technically control the private keys, the secret codes that give you access to your crypto. The exchange holds them for you. If the exchange gets hacked or goes bankrupt, your funds could be at risk. All right, my crypto explorers, we've journeyed through the what, why, how, and the OMG, be careful, of altcoins. Now let's put on our future-gazing goggles and ponder. What does the crystal ball say about the future of these Bitcoin alternatives? Are they just a passing fad, a digital tulip mania 2.0? Or are they actually building the foundations of a new internet, a new financial system, a new something we can't even fully imagine yet? Spoiler, it's probably a bit of all of the above, but the exciting parts are really, really exciting. One thing's for sure, altcoins aren't going anywhere. In fact, they're becoming increasingly sophisticated, powerful, and integrated into various aspects of the digital world. The pace of innovation in the altcoin space is absolutely breakneck. We're seeing projects tackle some of the biggest challenges that early cryptocurrencies faced, like scalability, energy consumption, and user experience. For example, projects like Ethereum are undergoing major upgrades aimed at making the network significantly faster, more efficient, and way greener. These upgrades are a huge deal because they could potentially allow blockchain networks to handle a massive volume of transactions, similar to what major payment processors like Visa can do. Imagine a world where decentralized applications, or dApps, run as smoothly and quickly as the apps on your phone right now. That's the kind of future that improved scalability could unlock, paving the way for mainstream adoption of blockchain technology in everything from finance to gaming to social media. The plumbing is getting a serious upgrade. And it's not just about making existing things better. New altcoins are constantly emerging with fresh, sometimes mind-bending ideas. We're seeing innovations in areas like decentralized identity, where you can control your own personal data instead of big corporations. There are projects focused on creating more transparent and efficient supply chains so you know exactly where your products come from. And let's not forget the whole metaverse concept, where altcoins and NFTs are often the native currencies and assets of these burgeoning virtual worlds. It's like the Wild West, but with digital cowboys and VR headsets. The lines between different technologies are also blurring. We're seeing altcoin projects that integrate artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, IoT, and other cutting-edge tech to create novel solutions. Upbeat outro music starts to fade in. And just like that, we've reached the end of our altcoin adventure. Woo! We covered a ton of ground today, from figuring out what these mysterious alternative coins even are, to why they decided to crash Bitcoin's party, the different flavors they come in, because variety is the spice of crypto life, the roller coaster of risks and rewards, how to actually get your hands on them, and even a little peek into what the future might hold. My brain feels a little bigger, and hopefully yours does too. Remember, this space is always changing, so keep learning, stay curious, and don't be afraid to ask questions. The world of altcoins is complex, no doubt about it, but it's also incredibly exciting and full of potential. Whether you're thinking about investing, building, or just trying to understand the future of tech and finance, knowing about altcoins is becoming more and more important. We've tried to keep it fun and easy to digest, because learning shouldn't feel like a chore, especially when it comes to something as dynamic as crypto. Hopefully, you're walking away from this feeling a little more confident and a lot more informed about the universe beyond Bitcoin. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and diving into this topic. I appreciate every single one of you for watching, for learning, and for being part of this amazing community. If this video helped you out, if you learned something new, or if you just enjoyed my questionable jokes, please do all the YouTube things. You know the drill. Smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on more brain-tingling content, and ring that notification bell so you're the first to know when a new video drops. It really helps the channel out, and it means the world to me. That's a wrap on altcoins, what they are, how they work, and why they matter. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.